Today is, I got no idea where I'm going with this. Today's an exciting day and I've got some great news to share with you guys. We have partnered with KC Highlights to make sure we can see anything and everything this King of the Hammers in the red truck. We got some fresh products that we're going to be putting on in this video from KC, starting with their Cyclone rock lights. I got 6 of these things. This is their amber light. These are going to be replacing some cheap RGB LED lights I have under the truck now. Next thing is going to be their gravity light bar. This thing is insane. I don't even know how this thing's gonna work. It's so nice. It's almost too nice to have on our truck. And the last thing we're gonna be putting on in this video is our Flex Era 4 lights. We're gonna try hiding these behind the grill with the amber covers. We got all kinds of lights to put on this thing. So we're gonna pull the truck in, tear all the old stuff off, and get to work. For a quick comparison before we get started, that truck has 4 lights on it, and this is 1 amber Cyclone light. So I think 6 is gonna be a pretty big deal. We're obviously gonna be putting 4 lights in the fender wells. So the last thing we gotta do is figure out where we're gonna put the 2 extras. We're either thinking under the sliders or somewhere under the truck. So we're kind of just going around looking like that.
Try under the frame.
Like here. What about high up like that?
Yeah, I think that'll be.
I kind of like that. We can just do a little L bracket to hold it. Actually, we could even just put a riv nut in the sheet metal and then just run a bolt into it. You're getting a little toasty.
I'll take my shirt off. Yeah, that comes all the way over here. Are you all the way up there?
This is all the way. Mother. All right, we know that it'll work, so let's go. Now that we've got a good idea where all the lights are gonna go, there's really nothing to it but just to get to work. So we're gonna pull all the old stuff out. Austin's here to help me. He's my wiring specialist.
No, I'm not saying that.
A terrifying thing to say, but we're gonna take the old stuff out, put the new stuff in, try to scratch that whole job off the list.
You get it, Austin?
And I made my own little sequence. And the cops weren't a huge fan of these. Anyways, it was sick.
Is it one of those you kind of had to be there things? Hey!
Oh, that's nicely.
So they actually make these in a smoked lens, which I think I'm gonna swap these to because if you stare at those, it kind of hurts.
Will the smoke lens not cast a shadow as bad?
I think they'll still cast a shadow, they just won't be as violent in your face.
Why don't you think new cars come with underhood lights?
Because they don't want you working on them.
Remember my old Chevy?
That thing was sick.
Stereo light on
Pulled it out and stuck
Had
it
like
up
a
there.
20-foot cord. You can go all around the truck with it.
Everything in that truck was on a cord. The speakers were on long cords, so you could put them on the roof.
The old 6x9s.
So here's my rag. So this is all the old wiring here. This control box deal. So that's all gotta come out. Luckily it's all just kind of plug and play, so I think it's just a matter of cutting zip ties, unbolting the box that's in it, and then probably just mount that fuse panel right there. 3.5 meters, 2.5 meters, whatever, that's a meter. I thought we won a war so we didn't have to deal with this kind of stuff. Yeah. So these are 5 meters, I'm assuming these will go all the way to the back. 2.5 are for the fender wells, and these can be for the midway of the truck. Then that control panel will just replace it with this.
Is that all fused?
It's all fused, yeah. Each individually fused. It's super cool. And then I think these go into the switches. I'm sure there's instructions, so.
You know I can't read.
I know. That's what we got Courtney here for.
Are you serious?
She's book learned, dude. She's book learned. She's a lot more book learned than us.
You know I didn't get my grade 10. Little L bracket. We call those angle brackets in the trade.
Really?
Yeah.
What trade are you in?
Don't worry about that, it's not important.
I mean, they literally give you everything in this kit, so. I'm not crazy about this, but we've got some better stuff, so.
Yeah. That's just for the posers.
Yeah, complete, man, I'm impressed.
Yeah, we're using Allen wrenches to see better days.
Which ones?
This one, it's literally round.
Hey, that's snap-on quality, brother.
This is Pittsburgh quality.
Big old control box, look at all that.
You want to get new headlights or?
Those ones are still in there, aren't they?
And you got the Bluetooth mod.
Yeah, do you got Bluetooth headlight brackets?
I think this one's still good. Oh no.
No, it's definitely not.
That one.
Neither is that one.
Look, we're not worried about that kind of stuff. All we're worried about is making, you know, 120 horsepower.
Yeah, the crank. What?
You all right there? Yeah. So for the front lights, I got these sweet little flush mount brackets that KC makes. They got a little grommet and everything on them. So I think that's how the fronts are gonna go. So we'll just have to kind of place that up there, see how we like it, and pop a couple holes in that thing. Sweet. Cool. So on the last setup that we had with those LED rock lights, we built these little brackets that bolted to some of the factory points on the bottom of the composite Tacoma bed. So we're gonna knock that same idea off for these. We're just gonna change the design to hold these instead of rectangular lights. So just gonna modify this program a little bit, cut a couple of these, and that's 4 lights mounted. There you go. So for the last two, you can see I did a 5/16 nutsert in a pre-existing hole in the chassis. And then got those in right there. This one's a little close to the exhaust. Hopefully that's not an issue, but that's the last two in. And it's time to start wiring this thing up. So this is a wiring for the rock lights. I'm gonna put this in and just get it kind of situated. I'm gonna mount this fuse panel right here. Hopefully in a position that we can get stuff hooked up to it really easy. Start plugging everything in. So I got under the hood, situated for the rock lights. I got the new harness put in. I got this little ground block they give you. Fuse panels mounted. Everything seems good. I shortened the power cable just because it didn't need to be so long. So we're gonna go inside the car, go into the dash, get that switch wired up, and then we'll come out here and just check with the test light since it's not all wired in. And if that's good, we'll let Austin finish running the wires and we'll start on that roof bar. Next up for me is to put these brackets in for the rooftop light bar. So if you look, there's 2 holes already here that we're gonna uncover and use. We're gonna have to add a 3rd hole for here. Hopefully keep this thing all sealed so I don't have any water coming in on me. So we're gonna bolt this in, see how everything looks, get both of these set and get that thing going. Getting these roof brackets in was actually pretty easy. They bolt into 2 of the pre-existing holes in your roof under your drip rail anyways. So they provide you with hardware for that. We went ahead and bolted them in on both sides. That obviously showed us where the 3rd hole needed to be, so we're able to drill that out and get it ready to nutsert. The unfortunate thing here is that these nutserts they provided us with were aluminum, and the second we went to tighten them into the roof, they actually just ripped the threads right out of them. Luckily for us, we were able to just take a 1/4-20 tap and chase those threads out. There was enough meat on that rivet nut that it was able to hold the bolt just fine. From here, what we did was we decided to prep it by wiping it down with some brake clean to get everything off the surface. A little bit of air there to blow everything out. From there, we were ready to put some silicone on everything. What I did here was put a little bit of silicone on the bottom of the bracket just to seal the whole thing. I didn't put too much on because I didn't want it to bulge out and make a big mess. The other thing I put silicone on was the holes where the bolts go through. I figured that would be the most likely place to leak, so we just put a little bit of silicone in each one of those holes. On top of that, they provided us with these sweet little washers that went under the head of the bolt that had a grommet on them to keep everything sealed. So we just tightened it all up, went ahead and did the other side, and that was it. The light bar was ready to go on the roof. So we got all the rooftop stuff done. I got those brackets bolted in. They're sealed, I think. Fingers crossed. Next thing to do is hang this and see how it fits. So let's get it on. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Pictures in.
Let's get it on. Okay.
Oh, is yours through?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can start putting that nut on there.
Yeah, I got that.
So, I like it. I like it. All right, we got this mocked up. Austin hit it. Let's see it. Oh my God. That is so bright. I'm gonna go around back and let you do it one more time. Do it again. All right. Damn! Let's see it. Let's see your best finger puppet. That's it?
I got nothing.
Damn, no wonder Megan's always so happy. I see you working those things. So Austin got us pretty far yesterday, running all the wiring for the rock lights. Got these I gotta just get hooked up down here. The other wires for the other side of the truck, the driver's side of the truck, are here. I got the dash all back together and the light bar wired in. You can see here, push button there, that's the rock light button, bumper light button. Still got some new switches we gotta put in there, but it's all sealed back up and wired. So I'm gonna run these wires for the rock lights, probably pull those covers off, go outside and see what it looks like. Last thing I wanted to get mounted in this video were these Flex Era 4 lights from KC. I was gonna hide them behind the grill and kind of try and come up with some sort of intricate mounting system. The way I thought they would mount isn't the way they're actually gonna mount. I think I'm actually gonna do some tabs off the bumper that kind of go under the grill and back there to hold that light for me. So that will be in the next video. But the last thing we're gonna be doing in this video is trying out our new gas tank skid. I had this thing designed for me, got it cut out. Before test fitting it, I actually dropped it off to powder already. So hopefully it fits. I don't really know for sure. But here it is. Hopefully I don't regret not test fitting this thing before getting it powder coated. There's only one way to find out. I ended up having to go back and forth so much that my camera got turned off at some point, but we ended up getting the gas tank skid in. Remember, we put this file together from a scan of a frame, and it was actually a 3rd gen frame. So the one issue that we did have is back here, there's supposed to be one mount that goes from those 2 holes right there up to here, but the way it was designed, the 2nd gen frame actually doesn't have that. So tomorrow I'm gonna make a piece to tie that in, and then we'll just update the program. But everything else came out really good. So we got 2 points of contact here. It bolts into the cross member here. We have another point of contact right here. And all the way over there, you can see we have the last bracket. So all this ties into the frame. It's super sturdy. Even without that last bracket, it's super sturdy, but obviously we're gonna get that in and make sure it comes out awesome. So happy with that. It's getting a little late, but it's dark out, which is obviously the perfect time to try out lights. So we're gonna pull this thing outside and go for a quick spin. I'm gonna turn these off and go straight to the light bar. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. I don't know if you can see that, if it's in focus. But damn, that's bright. And there's so many more lights to go on. Gotta say, I'm pretty stoked with that. Excited to get this out in the hills and really test it. And of course, we gotta give a night test to the rock lights, which looks so good. Oh man, this thing looks awesome. Gonna have no problem seeing at night now. No one's gonna have any issues seeing me. And don't forget, we got even more lights going on this thing. I think that's it for today's video. Don't forget, we got a couple more things going on. There's gonna be a part 2 to this video, and I think part 2 is gonna be way better than part 1. We got some cool stuff coming. Haven't really told anybody about it, so super excited to show you guys first on here. But for now, that's it. See you on the next one.